Hello and welcome to the Philippines. This is MJ Cuenco Avenue in Cebu City, and today I'm just taking a walk, and you'll see some of the sights and hear some of the sounds of the city. Now, this car broke down on the side of the road. That's something you see very rarely here. And I think one of the reasons is probably because most of these vehicles don't have all that electronic anti-pollution stuff and all that other electronic stuff. And off the left here, I often see a little real small dump truck backing in there to dump sand and gravel, different types of materials, and then those guys bag it up. This here is our police outpost. You'll see those on different corners, on different streets. And sometimes they're manned and many times they're not. Not quite sure what the process is there. A lot of little stores, restaurants, housing back in the alleys there. Not much of a sidewalk in many areas of Cebu City, so you share the road with the traffic. And they're pretty good about giving you tolerance and leaving you space on part of the lane to walk there. And Shell is one of the big service stations here selling petrol. And something that was interesting to me for a long time was how few cars I see in these places. Cars, motorbikes, trucks. And I'm wondering, with all these cars, when do these people fuel up? And I have seen a kind of a lineup of cars when the news came out that the prices were going to go up the next day. I've only seen that once, but I think basically most of these cars have very small engines, so they're probably pretty fuel efficient, number one. Secondly, they don't drive the long distances that we do in the U.S. And I've described to many people here that, you know, many people live 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 miles away from work. And they drive a long ways to work and back home every day. And that we also have traffic. We have what they say very traffic in U.S. cities, especially at rush hour. Even if we have 12 lanes of freeway traffic in the morning in Los Angeles, I think is the worst in the country. You can sit in traffic for a couple hours trying to get to where you want to go. And this is one of the major jeepney stops. They'll stop almost any place if you flag them down, if they have room. But they do have a few designated stops. And then here's the corner. Sitcom is, they're involved in traffic enforcement. And I think he can write tickets as well as he's directing traffic. Now that's his hand signal, what looks like just waving to people. That's his hand signal. Something you used to here in the Philippines. They used a little different hand signals than what we might be used to. And I should have went there. I missed my chance to walk across. When you see a Filipino walking, you should walk, because this was a little bit busy time. Took me a little while to get across this intersection. But it is always interesting, the number of taxis. Sometimes I think it's almost 50% of the number of vehicles out there. I don't think it really is quite that high, but. And then one thing that's interesting is oftentimes drivers of vehicles, if they have their window down or there's somebody on the back of a truck or something riding along and they see this foreigner walking, they always greet me, hey Joe. And usually is a very friendly greeting, almost 100% of the time. It is a friendly greeting. One of the reasons I like the Philippines. My understanding is that a few years ago they loosened up the credit and made it much easier for people to purchase vehicles. And we've had a lot more vehicles just in the 3 years. I've had 3 trips to the Philippines and lived here much of that time as on a tourist visa, and I have seen the traffic get worse over the past 3 years, and a lot of it's because of the number of vehicles. The city is growing, and there are certain streets that become a bit of bottlenecks, and you try to stay away from those streets. Sometimes the taxi driver goes a different direction, and I ask him, well, where are you going? And he tells me, traffic is too bad there. It's faster to go this way. And my experience is that he's right. A couple times I've questioned his thinking, but he's been right. There are instances I've heard about where people do get taken on a scenic route to drive their fare up a little bit. You know, you need to be aware of that in any city in the country or in the world. If I would take the road to the left there, right on my left side, and these run parallel for a while, but if I take the road on my left, that will take me down near Pier 1, downtown Cebu City. And if I take the road on the right, that will take me near downtown, right on, kind of on the edge of downtown. Then I'll, at one of those streets down there further, another couple kilometers, 2-3 kilometers, I'll have to take a left if I want to go to the downtown area. And here's a couple guys with a cart, and I think they got loaded up with all sorts of stuff, and that's how some of them travel and transport their goods down the street. And there again, everybody is tolerant. Most people are tolerant of them, and you don't get the road rage that you might get other parts of the world. And just recently, the people who own this lot have fenced it off, and they've got a bunch of goats in there, apparently trying to clean up some of that the grass and weeds and stuff. I've stopped to talk to these guys real briefly a couple different times, and not really sure. I've never got answers to my questions about what they're doing or how they're selling it.
Construction, huh? Hi, good evening, good afternoon.
That is very likely a local project, and that those materials are being taken down into one of these narrow walkways and back in there, and they're building or adding on or whatever they're doing. Or it could be that a truck comes by and they've hired them to sift through that stuff and sort it into different bags, and maybe a truck comes and picks it up and delivers it to a construction site. But like I said, I've talked to them a couple times and haven't really, don't know if they don't understand me, or they're not real comfortable with English, but they're always friendly. And of course, we've got lots of fighting roosters out here. Seems like almost everybody owns a fighting rooster, and they just tie them with a string and let them hang out by the street, eat whatever they can find out there, I suppose. Although I think they feed them too. There's special food that they feed those fighting roosters. And here's another little real small operation. He's sifting through that stuff, and they just pile it on the side of the road, and they work their thing. They sift through it and put it in the appropriate bags. This guy here, he just got off the jeepney. Apparently he was probably down to Carbone Market buying the goods for his little Sorry store, his fruit stand.
Hello.
And it's very common for vehicles to park on the sidewalk because there are no parking areas. There's a shortage of parking. Now this is downtown area. This is between the South Bus Terminal, which is just behind me, and what they call E-Mall, which stands for Elizabeth Mall. Kind of interesting, unique mall downtown area. And a lot of these stands, they cater to the people coming and going to the South Bus Terminal. It's a major transportation hub here in downtown Cebu City. Lots of people travel by bus out to the provinces when they have time, go see their families. Thank you for watching. Please like the video. Please share the video. Please subscribe. Safe travels to you all wherever you're at, and we'll see you next time.